It started with a guy called George Powell, who worked in the public sector in Liverpool. And he wrote a letter to the local government chronicle, which was the main publication for the public sector at that time, bemoaning the fact that his accountants took all his information, represented it as their own and got all the glory, and he was fed up of it. The question he asked at the end of his letter was, why isn't there a representative body for payroll people? And from that, there was a rallying call, and a meeting was held in London. And from there, they formed a committee to look at why isn't there a body and where could we get one from? And that's where APSA was formed, Association of Payroll and Supran Administrators. We were all youngish men. I don't think anybody much was over 30. And it was a great time, a lot of camaraderie. We made some good lasting friendships. Some people came and went, but there was a core of people that stayed, and we had no money, we had all sorts of problems, but there was enthusiasm. So that was where it all started from. The raison d'etre really was to get a qualification going, but of course we knew nothing about how to go about it. So we made some terrible mistakes at that time. The first intake, I think we had something like 600, and we were the victims of our own success. We couldn't cope with them. And it was, to be honest, it was a bit rough and ready in the first instance, but it was off the ground. In the early days, in the Evening Standard, when the first advert appeared for a payroll manager, and it said BPMA qualified preferred. And I can remember I thought, God, we've arrived. We had a letter from a young female student who said she was a bit upset because her sister was doing a degree, and she said she had worked harder for her BPMA qualification than her sister had for her degree, and yet her sister was going to get a diploma ceremony and we weren't doing one. And that was a bit of a light bulb moment, really. The first and second year of graduates, we held one graduation ceremony, and we held it at King's College University in London, at their centre on the Strand in the hall. We outsold ourselves, we broke fire regulations. We took some chairs down in a van and stuck them at the back of the room because there weren't enough, and just hoped there wasn't going to be a fire issue, which there wasn't. And then as it grew, we started hiring West End theatres. We had the Palladium, the Theatre Royal, Drury Lane, and a couple more. But they were very prestigious dues. They were really, really lovely dues. We hit on very hard times, and every expenditure was put on hold, including the charter status was put on hold. I was going through a lot of things and looking at stuff and seeing what we could do but not spend money. And I had a look at the charter status application, and I realised it didn't really involve much money. It involved a lot of time and effort, but not a lot of money. So I said to the then chief executive, do you mind if I have a go at this? And he said no. So he and I worked on it and contacted the Cabinet Office, who were unbelievably supportive. They were really very, very helpful and helped us put together an application, and it faltered on a couple of things, and then they helped us put it right. We were pretty well chuffed when we got that. I'm not sure whether it was a turning point, but it was a very, very effective milestone. No matter what changes come along, I think people involved need to remember where the roots came from. The raw enthusiasm, which I think still exists within the payroll movement. You know, you've just still got to harness it. There are people out there who will take on stuff. It's just finding them. The byproduct of the qualification developed the backbone of the organisation with the tutors. In my day, they were all people giving. We paid them, but they would have done it for nothing. They were just so solidly determined to help the payroll movement develop. So I think those are what I'm most proud of, really.